Today we've got a turbocharged Miata. Not just any Miata, the award-winning FrankenMiata.
That's right.
And I'll let you go for a quick round of introductions, and I'll start with Dave, and then we'll let you pass it along to the Sarahs, and
All right. I'm Dave Coleman. At the moment, I'm Bones, but we change roles as we redecorate the car.
I'm Sarah Fairfield, and I'm currently Uhura.
Doesn't she look just like O'Hara?
I'm Sarah Ehrlich, little-known character from the first season of Star Trek.
Killed off early on?
Killed off very early on.
It happens.
Yeah.
What was she called?
She was Dr. Jane Underway.
It's Underway.
Oh, dead.
I'm Kyle Snyder, and I get to be either Scotty or highly expendable.
Yeah, the red shirt means you're a good chance of being a security guy that gets killed.
And seriously, the part that's hard to believe is none of us are Trekkies.
Yeah.
Now, how did you arrive at a Star Trek theme for this incarnation of the Miata?
I have no idea.
Well, we have a list of themes that will A, make the car look good, and B, have a variety of costumes for both men and women. Because we approached this race as a race, but also a homecoming float and Halloween at the same time.
Well, it's an interesting concept because your guys are, as I understand it, highly competitive and have a fun time at the theme, with the themes that you've had. And tell us a little bit about some of the themes you've had in the past. I know that the one, I think, prior to this was the Pink Elvis Miata.
Pink Elvis was a couple of races ago. Our first theme was just good old pimps and hoes.
And you don't mind if I put my hand on your ride, because
this thing is solid.
It's not going anywhere.
I like to not normally, scar up and scratch up the paint job.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's tough. No, our first theme was just good old-fashioned pimps and hoes. It was the first time we'd actually dressed up for it, and what we realized very quickly is that you get very much more popular around the pits when all your girls are skimpily dressed.
Well, that's true of any sport, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll notice, Star Trek, they had short skirts. It was great. That's why I had to go for the original.
The original, not the new Star Trek.
No, they weren't pants.
Yeah.
Forget it.
That and the races are always hot, so we're good with being
Gotta move, gotta stay light on your feet in case there's a pit fire or something.
Yeah.
We do stay in these all weekend long.
Yeah. We're good.
Anybody ask you for autographs while you're out there?
A lot of pictures.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures.
Your roles on the, we'll call it the Trek Miata. I'm not sure if you have a custom name for this one.
Eyesore Racing.
We'll just call it the NCC 170 because it's a little off.
We wanted to do 1701, and the scoring system, the timing and scoring system, can't handle a fourth number, so it was rejected.
So it's a good fun time as well as some serious racing, because I've seen some of the videos of people driving, and they're driving. Let's say they're driving their frickin' heart out.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of Limits, is that the racing is dead serious, but nobody takes it seriously. So you're out there just going for it with somebody for an hour, nose to tail, but you're giggling the whole time. Yeah, and nobody takes anything seriously. If you get bumped or something, nobody's going to get uptight.
But let's take a look at some of the cool stuff on the car. The first thing is that, tell us, we talked about some of the rules, and the American Lemons is a $500 car. So you have a budget of $500, whatever.
That's basically the only rule that really matters. And then they've got a bunch of safety rules, and you got to have a roll cage, and all that stuff. The safety stuff doesn't count toward the $500. But anything to make the car run or go fast or exist in the first place has to all add up to $500. So a Miata is tough to squeeze in under that. If you go on Craigslist, it's hard to get one under 2,000.
Apparently this one's made out of 2 or more Miatas. I want to be safe and say 2 or more.
It's actually 7.
7 Miatas.
Yeah. So what this was, the white part of the car, the only part of the white you can still see is here. This was a car that was totaled, and our friend Mark DeBella has a shop in Westminster, and a customer of his crashed the car, and he had all this supercharger and suspension and all this stuff on it, and he wanted to keep it. So he bought another clean car with a blown motor.
Donor car?
Yeah, and just swapped everything. And long after that happened, we spot this crashed, smashed shell sitting in the back of the place, and Mark's dying to get rid of it. He's
Haul
like,
this shit
you
out
guys
of
can
here.
have it if you turn it into a race car. What he didn't know is we're going to keep leaving the car at his shop ever since. But if you look in the engine bay and see it turns blue halfway up there, with a really jagged weld. That's the part that was smashed. So we bought a blue car that had hit a tree on the door. And so we just cut the nose off of that one and welded it on here.
And for those that are listening, what I'm looking at also is a top secret propulsion system from one of the episodes of Star Trek. It looks like a small turbocharger from something. I wouldn't hazard a guess other than something that's not making a lot of power, because it'd probably go on a motorcycle.
It's
let's
very
say that.
small, but yeah, nobody would ever guess what this turbo is from. And the reason it was free is because it doesn't fit anything in this country. This is the stock turbo off of a Dodge Stratus RT, which is only built and sold in Mexico.
So they like performance Dodges in Mexico.
It turns out they don't have any air down there. Mexico City is like 2 miles up in the air, and it's so thin they need a turbo just to get out of their own way.
So what you're saying is you got an edge in Denver.
Yeah, exactly, which is where we're going now. So,
all right.
Yeah, we're hoping that'll work
And
out.
the basic motor, standard Mazda Miata.
We didn't have any running engines when we started this. The engine that sort of was sitting next to this car when we got it was an automatic that ran on 3 cylinders, and we tore it down and found some broken parts in it. So we got another motor and tried to find those broken parts in that motor, and we didn't quite find them all, so we got another one. We still didn't have enough, so we ended up with 4 engines before we had enough parts to put this thing back together.
It's like my kid's Lego box. I'm looking for parts to help him build Legos, and you have to go to take it out of the Luke Skywalker kit to put it into some other one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a mess.
Oh, I did a lot of Legos when I was a kid. I think we all did.
Yep, good
So,
stuff.
and then the reason the turbo is sitting so high up in the air, so basically we built the engine for free because people will give you engines that are blown up, right? They don't want them, just get them out of the way. So we built the engine for free, and we had a free turbo, but a turbo manifold costs a lot of money. So we just took the stock exhaust manifold and turned it upside down and stuck it up in the air, which is why our driver can't see where they're going. But we just welded a turbo onto the stock one, and that's
now
why it's up there.
who's driven this car? All you guys in competition?
All of us.
What's even more fascinating to me about this car is it's not just turbocharged like, backyards with some angle iron, which it all is, and we'll show you pictures of it if you come to the site, is the generous sized intercooler set up here. I mean, these guys here didn't stop at just okay. They went full tilt with an intercooled Miata.
Well, the beauty of this intercooler is you can pick these up in the old Ford Probe turbos, and if you go to a junkyard on half price day, pretty much any small cooler costs $7. They're all the same. So the oil cooler down there costs $7 out of a Volvo 240, and the intercooler costs $7 out of a Ford Probe. And you'll notice we don't have a radiator up here, so we have plenty of room for it.
Is that on the side door, by the way?
That's what's in the passenger seat.
Let's take a look at and see some of the other fine engineering here.
Back when we started building this car, there was a lot of crashing in Lemons. People ran into each other all the time, and since then they've sort of cleaned that up, so it doesn't really need to be back there.
So
but
they're
we're
not
going
going
to
to put spikes on your radiator when you're smashing into the guy in front of you.
They got rid of that penalty, but that used to be one of the penalties.
I think that's a great idea.
If you were driving too aggressively, they'd weld spikes onto the back of your bumper, so if you hit anybody, they go right through your own radiator.
Yeah,
And they call that the grill of Damocles.
Ingenious idea. That's why I love the series. Now, is there a lot of beer involved at the pits, or is that still frowned
Not
on?
while the track is hot.
As soon as the track goes cold,
Yes.
it all comes out.
We're going to feel first, because we'll have to feel the car.
Well, the team pitted next to us at the last race had a 15 horsepower blender for their margaritas.
Yes.
Okay. Made out of an old Miata motor, turns upside down. With
I don't know. It sounded like a 2-stroke. It was going.
Nice. Now, so you thought ahead and figured that you'd get your radiator out of the way of danger.
Yeah.
Inside the passenger seat, looks like a nice aluminum radiator. That might have been
It turns out, once you're putting it in the passenger seat, any radiator you want will fit. So it's just out of like a Mazda 6 or something. You just get the biggest one you can get.
More of our junkyard engineering.
They all cost the same.
junkyard. This is also like a really good story for those that are liking the green recycled.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're into the recycling here.
We're reusing like crazy.
I see lots of PVC plumbing and tubing from.
Well, this
That's our cool box. So you wear the cool shirt, and so when it's hot out, you can put ice water in there and keep your core
we have
down.
hoses running through our shirt that pump
a
ice
cool
water
suit.
through. Oh.
Next time,
So we
steal
made
an air
ourselves.
conditioner.
Yeah, we made those ourselves.
Air conditioning. I think that'd be a.
Yeah, that'll
It's a little drafty in there.
get us faster.
I read somewhere about this that, in fact, that somebody did some finite element analysis
Yes, we did.
We are
on
nerds.
the actual shape and style, so it would not impede or have any lift or excessive drag.
Basically, we're a bunch of nerds and we never stop arguing. And the only way to settle the argument over how to do this and whether it would work was to do computer modeling and computational fluid dynamics and see how the air was going to flow so that we could really stop arguing and start building.
Now, did you first model the car as like a rock or something, and then on top of that rock?
The car is kind of, the car model's kind of basic. It doesn't have any wheels. The top of it's sort of Miata shaped, but it's
It's like
a little
Twinkie
smoother.
with a disc on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
but-
secret stealth angle?
Actually,
2 degrees.
And by the way, if I'm touching on any top secret
We have no
racing tips,
We have no secrets.
Full disclosure on this car.
Now, I'm looking at some in the inside of the car, and behind the radiator system, it looks like there's a teapot and a teacup from the Mad Hatter's ride.
and a tribble.
And a tribble, a
Yes.
leftover tribble.
We
Yes.
like to have leftover artifacts from our old themes on the cars.
So our previous theme was Alice in Wonderland, and we all dressed up as characters,
would
and
be
we did the
really good.
mural of the whole movie.
And you guys roll the paint on yourself.
We have a couple of team members who are very talented at artistic endeavors, and they sketch it out.
Kyle's contribution is the art.
That's my part. Yeah.
Well,
I spent a lot of time.
A lot of
painting.
painting.
he does all this stuff by hand, and then we just go around and fill in the colors. That's
Nothing
my
like-
contribution.
Like a Sharpie and.
Yeah.
A lot of latex house paint.
Some of the stuff we saw on the stats from Inside Line from Edmunds.com was I think it was the incarnation of this car rolling as the
It was the pink Cadillac.
The pink Cadillac, that it ran the slalom faster than like a late '90s Carrera convertible or something.
Exactly.
And you're going, this is the kind of stuff that we like here.
And that was with bald tires too. That was after a race. We were all flat spotted, and the car was just a mess.
Now, what's next? If I might pry, do you have a theme you might want to disclose, or
Do we have a name for it? What's the next one called?
Well, Denver's, we're going to stay with this one, but the race after that in August in Thunder Hill, we're just sort of going for an Arabian Nights flavor. So we're going to take the disc and cut it down a little bit and make it a flying carpet, maybe put some palm trees.
Rug.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's spark this thing up, because if we don't, we're going to the hell to pay thing.
Yeah.
All right,
get the mic near the front, because
Near the
normally
front?
you
All right,
want to hear the exhaust, but here you want to hear the valve train and the piston slap.
We're going to mic this by hand for a change for the audio, and we'll get some turbo wine for those that.
Turbo wine?
Yeah, a little, mic near car.
I'm hoping she starts.
Yep.
We got a problem with the starter.
I've got a hammer.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's a race winning car, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. The FrankenMiata lives.
Our parents are proud.
You guys are off the
This
street.
is what four
That's a
engines and a
good-
Mexican turbo cobbled together at random sounds like.
And it idles too.
Eventually.
All right. I asked you to throw
Every
rev,
time-
but I don't want to take away. You could lose something.
Yeah, it's an endurance car. Let's not push it.
Yeah. Let's save. You got to save the motor.
Right.
Every time we start this car, we start having arguments over how soon it's going to blow up, because you start hearing all the clattering and banging inside that thing.
It's not doing much.
Doesn't sound as bad as my motor.
It's
Doesn't have any
actually this
lifter
unusually
clattering.
good.
All right. I want to thank the crew. I was going to say the
Sure.
team, but I want to say crew here
Absolutely.
because the crew of the NCC 170, the FrankenMiata. Look forward to seeing you guys at a race.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having us.
You guys got to get the charade going and come out and join us.
We're going to come up with something else, I think. Like I said, the Bronco.
Don't fear the charade.
I think the Bronco is our best shot because we already own it, and if anybody saw it, they would know that it's not worth $500. We have a 351 Cleveland back there that's worthless. We can dump that back in.
Bring it.
Four-wheel drive.
We'll race with you.
Bring it out. I guarantee you guys will have an awesome
Put some
time.
wheels on the side for when it tips over, so you can keep going.
There's only one way for that Bronco, and it's to the American Lemon Series. Donnie, you listening? Let's fire it up.